Yes, we're just 5 lost souls.
Couple guys
living in a fishbowl.
Couple tuggers.
All that sounds really dirty.
No, it doesn't. I assure you.
It will be our immediate intro to, hey, welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. You tugged your way into our hearts, I guess. You're tugging something, and you tugged yourself right into our new episode, Moving 1988. And we are Rabbit Troop Sucks. We are a podcast about obscure, forgot about, and you know what? Often overlooked movies, things, stuff like that. As always, I am Paul. Next to me is Mike.
Hey.
Paladin Mike, some would say.
Oh.
But swing.
Yeah.
Hey, we got reoccurring guest Rami. Welcome back, Rami.
Hey, hey.
We got Jeremy.
Hello.
And we have Lamar.
Yes, we do.
We did it. We went into a circle. Mm-hmm. Right back into your tugging hearts.
A circle
tugging?
What? Mm-hmm.
It's something like that. According to IMDb, Moving in 1988, Arlo accepts what seems to him to be a dream promotion to Idaho. He soon discovers, however, that moving has its own share of problems. And boy, howdy does it. I hate moving. I've moved many times in my life. I feel this movie is a fun look at moving the same way the money pit is in buying a house. And once Mike bought a house, he made a lot of money pit jokes. And when I bought a house, funny enough, I too was making a lot of Tom Hanks money pit jokes. Mm-hmm. Rami, had you not seen this movie before?
I have never seen this movie.
And Mike, you had not?
Correct.
And Jeremy, have you seen this?
No.
Wow. So Lamar and I have seen this movie, I would say, at least 3 times together out of the times we watched Moving. So, yeah, we'll get into it. What's your view on Moving, everyone? Just like moving in general, not the movie, but like just moving.
I have had 2 moving experiences. One is the moving experience that most of the modern world has probably experienced at one point in time, where you pack shit up and put it on some type of vehicle, maybe multiple vehicles, who knows? But then you have to unpack it and fucking put it around whatever domicile you're moving into. But then I've also had the experience of moving using an executive relocation package, which is a completely different experience. Yeah.
So what Arlo was supposed to have? Like, what was it, the Hummingbird Moving Company?
Yeah, and they kind of do it that way in a way, but there's not just one guy that comes in and like packages each thing up. It's multiple people. There are a lot of people. Yeah.
Is that?
But yeah, then they load it up, and at some point you see it again.
Well, that's pretty much it. They you don't have to worry about a thing. You don't lift a finger. The executive moving package takes everything like what was supposed to happen in this movie.
Yeah,
transports it cross country or whatnot.
My experience was not as exciting as Arlo's experience.
Sure,
I'm sorry to hear that.
You know,
you didn't go.
I would have liked.
Crazy.
Yeah, I would have liked to fucking experience some of the things that Arlo did experience, because that would have made a fantastic tale to tell.
You're just in for a fun time. I mean. Paul, you nailed it on the head. No one likes moving. I don't like moving. Moving sucks. Yeah, and if I had to go to movie experience, it would definitely be the executive package deal that you were talking about.
Definitely.
But there's nothing nice about it.
I have helped everyone outside of Jeremy, who's not in the room, outside of digitally. Everyone physically in the room with us right now, I have helped move. Numerous occasions.
Yeah.
And then me.
Yeah, I think everybody in this room, I think we all helped out each other this package.
100%. Yeah. Like Paul and I used to move for some reason, just like everyone we know.
We started making jokes, like people, even acquaintances, were like, it would be a big help if you could help us like move something. And then Mike and I on like a couple occasions, but it's like for 25 minutes, you need some help, like for a couch or something.
It's never.
Well, then you roll up there, get us.
Because you feel guilty. You're a human being, and you like these people, and you feel guilty for just showing up and be like, yeah, all right, I'll help you move this couch.
I've never lied to someone in a move. I've always been like, this is my stuff. I've packed it up. No one needs to pack. I will buy you all as many pizzas, Chinese food, and beers or whatever you want, as much as you want. I say that because Mike and I got roped into a moving situation once. Oh wait, Mike was not there for this one. I was roped into this one, and at the end of moving, they're like, "Well, we need to go back." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, we moved stuff." They're like, "No, we're gonna empty the boxes. You need to now go back. We're gonna pack load 2." And I straight up was like, "No." I was like, "We're not." I was like, "I just helped you move for 4 hours." They're like, "Yeah, but like that wasn't everything." I was like, "I am not helping you pack anything." All their major furniture and everything was moved. But they like wanted me to go back and like get their knickknacks and books and stuff. I was like, no, like absolutely.
That's the problem is the packing, man.
Yeah, no.
It's the packing.
Yeah, I have never had any of my friends here pack a single thing.
No.
I won't
at all.
I won't tell you the whole story, but the last time I helped my mom move, I got to her house and I looked around and I was like, "So are you moving today? Like, there's no boxes." That's how that started.
Yep. It was an ominous day.
Yeah.
It was gloomy. It was once sunny, and as I pulled into the driveway, the clouds rolled in, a fearsome gray.
I just throw everything away every time I move. All new
There
stuff.
you go, man.
That's how to do it.
That's the way to do it.
That's
That's
how
how Jack Reacher rolls.
That's yeah.
Nice.
Or just make numerous trips to Goodwill or have a garage sale or a yard sale. Whatever you gotta
see where
do
you're
and move
going
that
with
stuff
this.
out.
Yeah.
I once helped Mike move, and it was the saddest move ever. So
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
him and his girlfriend at the time were no more, and he's like, "If you could help me move, this would be great." And you could tell Mike was like extra, just like stressed about this. I don't mean that like in a weird way. Like they're going through a breakup, and Mike's like, "I'm gonna drive her back like to her home state, and we're gonna pack up stuff." And I was like, "Okay." So Mike is clearly like, "If you could help me, this will be done sooner, and that would be really awesome of you." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." But I started moving some stuff into like their moving van, and I was like, "Dude, like, why are we moving this? I was literally here when you bought this as like a single dude." He's like, "Dude, just shut up." Like, no joke. He's like, "Please just shut up and put it on the car. Like, we're going to a bar after this. I don't want to talk about this. Half of this stuff is just going in the car. She can have it. We're gonna move away." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah, it was a fun move. It was a silent move.
It was, yeah. So I had to drive this person back across many states
man.
because she had just had back surgery and couldn't drive, and I just wanted her out of my house. The car broke down in Nebraska, and I had to spend like 5 days in a hotel room in Omaha with this person who hated me, her 2 cats, and all of this stuff. Like, it was
That's a movie right
It was-
there.
like-
Yeah. Why the fuck didn't you write all this shit down?
I don't know. Like this could be a movie. It was genuinely one of the worst weeks of my life.
Oh man.
That's amazing.
It was
I'm gonna figure out a
it was
script
pretty
on that.
awesome. Yeah, we'll work next time you're out here. We'll do a treatment.
Yeah.
Jeremy, no joke. Half of me helping move was like in the pitch black of night at like 9 p.m. for some reason. And he was like, "I'm parked
That's
in
not
an alley."
moving, that's stealing.
Oh, she was there. It was just like she left for a moment, and it was just like Mike's like, "We have this window. She has left. I have the moving van in an alley. We're gonna go through the back gate of this apartment complex. I'm moving like house plants, like potted house plants. The small appliances were like, wasn't I with you at Target when you bought this?" He's like, "Just shut up."
Get it in the car.
He's like, "We'll get new stuff." I was like, "Okay." Yeah, one of the cats was straight
That
up
was a
his.
moving therapy session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We
I
just
s-
shared with each other.
One of the cats was mine. I miss
Feel
my
closer to you guys now.
Oh man. Took the cat.
cat. Small price to pay to get rid of her, but yeah, she
Wow.
took the cat.
That's
Yeah.
extreme.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, as I said, it was a very silent move between Mike and I. It was just like no joke. After a while, I was just like, "Just tell me what to grab," and he did. He was like, "Get this and this," and we put it in the truck. Get this and this, we put it in the truck. Yeah, we helped move everything, Mike. Dan's giant 80-foot TV, 80-inch TV, like the old school CRT.
Oh, like those fucking those cabinet-sized TVs.
Mike, me, and this other
God.
dude, Dan, move this up this rickety 100-year-old apartment complex.
Even get that in there.
Dude,
No.
how did it get out?
It's still there as we speak.
yeah.
That's like a fixture of that place.
I remember that place. Yeah, that place was. Oh my god.
The place next to Arby's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got stuff. It was so narrow. How did he get stuff?
No,
in
he didn't.
there?
That TV's still in there.
I once helped to move an elliptical exercise machine from the third floor of a walk it up.
Damn.
And I thought we were gonna die.
That's terrible shit. Terrible. You don't want that.
Former guest of Rabbit Troop Sucks and Rami's brother Lucor, him and I got charged with moving an electric organ down
Yeah, you
a
did.
twisty third floor apartment set of iron steps that like looped around because no one else outside of Lucor and I were thin enough to be on each side with it. So we're like, are you like I don't know how we each didn't die. Like looking back, like, I could not do that now. Like, I literally do not have the muscle strength. I do not know how I survived. That was insanity. That was a fun time. Yeah, so moving, 1988.
I'm never going to move again, by the way.
Like, just ever?
No, yeah.
Or, like do you mean, like,
Done.
you will never move again yourself? Or, like, where you live now is where you will die?
Well, I guess both.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. I was,
No, me and Mike are in the same position. I'm never moving again.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to know why we have like 4 million homeless people? These are the people that are fucking never moving again, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they just give it up. They're out there now.
I've actually
Yeah.
got a plan.
They had to move one more time,
Right.
and that was it. They just moved to the street, and they've been wandering ever since.
Next time I move, it's gonna be into a dumpster, and then I'm just gonna be free.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And until they pick up that dumpster.
That's fair.
But you'll be free.
Well, they pick up the dumpster. You're just free somewhere else, wherever they take you.
Well, I
Wherever
wish
the wind blows you.
In the end of this movie, Arlo does have fun moving, but 90% of it, it's all just stress, and I think that's what this movie encompasses.
Yeah.
And it adds a comedy element that I don't know if you can have this stuff happen to you and still enjoy moving, but I don't think it was a fun experience for him to move, even though it looked fun in the end. I mean, the Mad Max car.
You're using the word fun kind of loosely. It's fun for us to watch.
It was fun to watch. Jeremy was talking about he had fun moving in this movie, and like it looked like fun. Isn't that what you said?
No, I said it looked like it. Like at the end, once you were settled down and
Yeah.
everything was like calm, you would have a great story
okay.
to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to like truly experience this because it looks like it sucks.
I would say this honestly, like now that years have passed in situations, looking back on most moving experiences I have been in, there is a good story to tell. Like there is
Yeah.
zaniness or awfulness, but like one way or another, like you get the awful, good, whatever.
But not,
Entertaining
like I
story.
wouldn't want to fight like 3 ex-cons.
Hell
like
no.
that's not the story I want to tell.
No, but like I definitely even have like with my own family, like the family fights, like we don't know what we're getting into, like the kind of like John Hughes style of comedy where people are just like pissy, upset, like things are happening and whatever. Yeah, I would definitely not want to be like fighting like ex-cons and stuff like this. Yeah, there's also, I know I'm jumping the gun, they eventually look at homes when they're moving. So Richard Pryor and his wife start looking at homes. That too could be kind of stressing. I know my wife and I were looking at homes in Denver. That was stressing for a lot of people. It's awful.
Looking at homes is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
why
was
I'm
the sequel, Looking.
That's why I'm never moving again.
That's
I live there now. All my
Not
stuff
buying.
there. I don't. Yeah, it's fine.
There you go.
It's bury me there.
You tell Tibor he's a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you want to start going through this?
Go for it.
This motherfucker. Oh no! I said, do you? I didn't volunteer.
We got Richard Pryor. We
Yeah.
got Arlo.
Arlo.
Interesting cast.
Yeah. One of the first characters you see is Randy Quaid,
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
So before we do get into it, I will say this. So Richard Pryor, comedically, he can be somewhat of a raw comic, like using very vulgar language and whatnot.
None of
This is Richard Pryor at his most mild, in my opinion. And I felt like he was kind of locked down.
It
I don't
seemed
know.
like
And sometimes I could see it in his face, like he wasn't enjoying the moment.
Like he wanted to. Well, it seems like they
Like-
started this movie PG and it was R by the time we got to the end of it. Because I feel like it got more profane as it went on. Like they just at some point they're like, you know what, fine, just say whatever the fuck you
They had
want.
a swear jar.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they did.
I feel like profanity was peppered in an odd way.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of it, but it came at certain bursts, not
Right.
throughout the movie.
Well, like at the very beginning, it's like, oh no, swear jar, put the money in. But then by like 2/3 into it, it's just like, fuck this, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It just kind of went off the rails.
It's the magic of the night.
Yeah,
if you're not paying attention to it, it feels like a PG movie.
I mean, at the
There's not a
beginning,
lot
it
of-
straight up did.
It's not a lot of weird shit going on that would warrant a PG-13 or R rate.
No,
Officially in Hollywood in '88, it was a PIG.
Well,
They gave him the piss 13.
yeah. What this movie must have been rated R, right?
Arlo.
Arlo, Zing.
It had to be with all the
with all the
cursing.
effing.
Oh yeah, it's totally are.
Yeah.
But that's the only reason why. There's
Yeah.
no gore, violence, or any sexual
not
innuendo or anything.
no, not titty number one. of
The
movie.
sexual innuendos where he's moving.
Right.
There was that truck, and they were moving.
there's
know
that
what I
one
mean?
He was
scene
moving in
where they were
and then
gonna
out
get
of that
down.
truck.
Honestly, Richard Pryor looked terrible in this movie.
That's true.
You know
Yeah.
what? I didn't want to say it, but I'm a mild person on it. But yeah,
Was it the beard?
That didn't
no,
help. But
I don't know.
he
Like I said, I've never been a huge fan of Richard Pryor, but this was him at his most mild, and it just he didn't work for me.
Based-
Richard Milder.
Yeah,
His
Richard
character
Milder.
is the most straight-laced family man character I think he's ever
It
played.
is.
So he had to be just mild, and he came off like it.
Yeah.
It was really weird to see him in that role, and the way that he did it was so uncomfortable, and he just did not look like he was doing well. Not that his acting was bad; it's just it was
No,
a little
that-
hammy, and he just
He was holding it
looked
in the whole
terrible.
time.
Out of his element for being the family guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the surface, there's not a ton of notable people in this movie. I think we should kind of like, as we go through, we'll kind of say who's in it. But if you just kind of look at the cast, it's like, hey, it's Richard Pryor. The daughter, Rami Eagle-Eyed, is from Clueless. But that's really her only role in this. So it's really Richard Pryor and Randy Quaid. So, I mean, at first, like, again, there will be more people, and you're like, wow, there's like a ton of people in this movie. Yep. But even if you look at IMDb, like, they'll go in like order of cast. They're sprinkled throughout, but it's kind of like a smaller cast at its core.
There's a lot of people you'll recognize, and you'll be like, I know them from something. Charlie's mom from It's Always Sunny is in there.
wait, that was her.
Yeah.
She was in something else too, because I think you referenced her again as
Yeah,
Charlie's
she-
mom.
Stone
was in-
Cold.
Was she in Stone Cold? No, she was in Running Man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. And two.
She was the running.
One of the truck drivers was
She had
like
the runs.
and any movie that has like Hispanic bad guy from the 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
It was him, whatever his name is.
No. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. No one knows his name,
that
but he's
guy.
good. Yeah, there's a bunch of people you'll recognize, but no one whose name you know, unless you're weird.
There are some big names.
And you are weird, Rabbit Troop Sucks, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening.
The weirdness is we embrace it.
Hey, Mike and I will be at MiniCon again in September. We'll give you more details on that.
We'll talk about something.
Foreshadow some September MiniCon listeners, and bring your family and bring your mini in your con.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to take that.
Con job.
No, you know exactly how
They
to
come in
take it.
from the left, but you want to go from the right, and then you don't know where to go, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But for Mike, it's more like this.
Yeah. That's
That's why it's minicon.
I know this isn't a visual media listeners, but what Paul was just pantomiming is what we'll be doing at MiniCon.
It's called Jump Rope Ninjutsu.
Yeah.
So
At one point, I hope our listeners could get a hold of these fucking video recordings.
But there are no video.
Yeah, I know. These are lost to the sands of time.
So if there are video recordings, I would love for you to write in and let us know how that is happening.
Tell us where the
Somebody's
hidden camera
hacked me.
is in this room.
Oh, you joined the
CrowdStrike.
the Patreon tier glory hole. So
Yeah.
What stuffed animal is the camera in? Just make it wave.
who's inside of who?
Oh no.
It's I, Conan the Barbarian.
And who are you inside of?
Anyone?
Anyone?
Anyone who wants.
Yeah. So in the beginning, Sasquatch is ninjutsu kicking, a Yeti friend.
What?
I don't know. So Arlo's having a dream. So as long-winded as we were, Richard Pryor is a big old wimp in this movie. Lamar's like noting, like, he is the ultimate family man and he does care about his family. But when it comes to getting a promotion or sticking up for himself at jobs he's done at work or getting credit for whatever, he is just the quiet type. So he has this dream that he's beating up ninja style his next door neighbor Frank, who is Randy Quaid. And this is a great dream. He wakes up from it. He kind of feels refreshed, like whatever. Goes into work. Everyone seems to like this guy. He's wearing a nice suit. He's, what was he, like a commuter engineer, like architect or designer?
No, he's
planner?
a transportation
engineer.
Engineer, yeah. So he goes into work. Everyone seems to kind of like him. They're like, oh yeah, like, hey, what's up, man? Like, he has a good rapport with everyone. But as he gets closer to the inner office of where he works,
Well, he's carrying all this lady's heavy shit because
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
a super
Nice
nice,
guy.
He's
guy.
helping somebody.
yeah, so
And it's the lady that's essentially taking his position.
yeah, and as you get closer, you hear people like, oh, he doesn't know. Oh my god.
Oh shit, that's
Oh my god. I shat that guy's coffee.
Like he's groping the breasts of the lady that's taking his position.
I've been taking half that guy's celery the whole time. Oh my god.
half his celery.
All of his celery.
That's celery too.
One of his
Take
tomatoes.
my
A lot of
celery
whispering.
stick.
You'll never find those kumquats.
No, trying to make a.
I do like the scene build up because they go to the office and they both have their keys out and they're like, "Oh, thanks for helping me," and they both reach their keys to the hole and it's colliding, indicating that
Two keys,
I've been
one
helping
hole.
you get to my office, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
And the
and-
realization that she's replacing him.
Yeah, so he's out of a job. He sees
15
his
years he was there.
Yeah, he
Paul.
sees,
All right,
he
think
see-
about that.
He sees his boss and he's like, dude, so how did the merger go? And the guy's like, oh, well, you know. He's like, so do I not have a job? He's like, whoops, sorry. I think anyone would kill that person. Like how
Like Ninja
unprofessional.
Fight 'em?
15 years.
Well, that's the thing. Like all jokes aside, I know that this like sucks and these things happen. But how unprofessional that you immediately wouldn't be notified and like you actually got to work and stuff like that. Like someone
Yeah.
would lose
Dude.
their mind.
Dude,
No.
that's how it happens, man.
No,
That's how they do you.
Sometimes it
When
do be
you're
like
fired, they don't give a fuck, man.
Well,
They just want their
how about this?
their
Well, I think they would
computer back
strate-
so you can't do anything.
I think they would strategically plan that. Like you wouldn't show up on a Monday like in a suit. Like I think there's even like other jokes in other movies. Like even in Office Space, they're like, oh, the best results are like fire someone on a Friday, so like they don't.
I have seen people walked out on a Monday.
Well,
No, people walk out is one thing, but like someone like getting fired, like at this level, like 15 years, a merger, things like this. There's no way they not tell this guy. And again, like I know these things do happen, but this guy would lose his mind.
I
yeah.
once worked
He
with
would.
this kid that we were gonna fire. He called me and he asked, "Are you gonna fire me?" And I told him no,
No,
because I wanted his ass to come in.
Hey, guy.
like that's with all the work from home that's happening now. Like that is one of the problems. Like you got to wait for them to show. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but like it's nice to wait for them to show up.
Or there's an extreme takeover, and this merger is like, get everybody out right the fuck now.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that's exactly what happened here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would have taken my 15 years worth of severance and just gotten the fuck
Yeah,
out of there.
that's not
That's
Arlo
fine.
Pear.
You lay me off whenever you want after 15 years, because that's got to be a payday.
That's, I don't know. This company didn't seem to be too. I mean, Arlo wasn't happy with his severance. I mean, he was yelling and screaming, getting fired, and
It was
he took
the
like
Jelly
a
of the
bitch.
Month Club.
Went home and
He was so
cried.
mad.
Yeah.
He couldn't even get the right finger out.
No, he couldn't get the right finger.
That's-
What?
Sure.
So I must have missed that because I got they were talking about what finger did he put up?
So is
I
the
thought he
next
flicked
one.
them off.
No, he told his wife. So the back end of the story is he is fired. He tells his boss, like, basically, he even fails to tell his boss to go to hell properly. He's telling his wife, and we see as the audience, like, the back end of the story. So we see it first, like, he's, like, yelling at his boss. But then he's telling his wife, he's like, I failed. He's like, I went to flip him off, but he held up his index finger. He's like, for 20 minutes, I held up this finger, and I was yelling, and I realized, whoops, that's the wrong finger. Like, I couldn't even, like, flip this guy off.
Man can't even flip a dude off.
Flipping and dipping.
He was doing none
Dude,
of that.
I'd have just walked out. But like, I'm done. Thanks.
Yeah, like
Bye.
who gives a fuck? Like, all right.
Like you're sacking my ass. Why am I gonna
Yeah.
waste my time?
I know, man.
For this shit.
Like I
other
could be
shit.
driving to the bar right
Yeah,
now.
right.
And I would have been.
Didn't he go to a bar?
He did.
I mean, fun story. He does then go to a bar. That's the next area. Drinking.
Moving, shaking, and drinking.
Whee!
Well, I mean, he's drinking and stuff, but like later on, he does go to a bar.
That's right.
Yeah.
But first,
That's after the second firing.
He's also driving because I don't see any taxis in this movie.
No.
It was the 80s.
Mike, was this New Jersey for you? Mike's from New Jersey.
Yeah, no, this is not. This is a different part than where I grew up, I guess.
What kind of part is this? The part where they fire you for being an amazing engineer?
I don't know. This seems like north, like New York suburb, New Jersey. I was born in like south, like by Philly, which is a different.
What was the closest Denny's? I need to know that.
right now. Tell me right now.
Atlantic
Did
City,
they have a Winchell's donut?
Is it still open?
probably.
What kind of eggs does this guy take?
What kind of car does this guy drive?
Scramby eggs?
Garden steak,
It's
guys.
Scramby eggs.
I guarantee you, Jeremy could go for a moons over my hammy right now.
Oh, you're goddamn right. We
Yeah.
used to go do that.
Not just Jeremy. I'll sign up for that. Give me like a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Yeah,
Where the hell is their IHOP?
there, Colorado Boulevard, the old VI Lounge is a Denny or is an IHOP.
Oh, that's
now.
still there?
Yeah, it's still open.
think that's the
It's
last
24 hours.
Hopping
Fuck
and
outta here.
popping.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
I
crazy.
can't think of another one.
No, that's the only one.
That's crazy.
Everything else is closed.
We could go after we do this podcast, and then we could do another podcast from there with Jeremy.
Live from Denny's.
I'm in.
Jeremy could go to another Denny's.
Honestly, I think the people at Denny's would love it.
I'm at a completely different Denny's.
as well.
Guys, Denny's is for winners.
It is.
Denny's is for winners.
Yeah. I don't really
Jambalaya.
Chumbawamba. I think we meet the daughter now.
Where did we meet her?
We met the daughter earlier.
Did we?
Yeah, there was a breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some of the
scene.
breakfast
I don't
scene.
fucking
It was
know
a
what's
typical
going
But we
on,
meet
man.
more of the characters now that he comes home and he cries to his wife. And
So I do want to mention that my favorite part of the breakfast scene though is the dog when they just like lift up its
Flipper?
like comatose
Tilt
head
its
and
face.
That
slide
head.
its food bowl under it.
Flipper the dog.
That was deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah. I thought that dog was dead.
Yeah.
I like the dog.
The dog's
it did
alright.
nothing, and it was probably the best character.
It's
I mean-
kind of a metaphor for his soul.
Most of the characters in this movie do nothing and are inconsequential to the plot, but that's
No, the dog was just a direct fucking reflection of Richard Pryor's transformation throughout this movie.
Well, the dog also had more effect on the trajectory of this movie than literally any of the children did. So,
But the children are our future.
What about the daughter? The daughter was such a pain.
but like she was a pain in the ass,
ass,
and so were the two sons. But also, nothing they did affected the plot of the movie. Like they all had little isolated pockets of things going on.
Well, the daughter kind of did. She affected some of the scenes that were coming up after.
Well, like she affected
Well, I
the
have
scenes that she
some
was
questions
in,
about
but not the
daughter
overall
thing.
story.
that's true.
The past
There
tense
are
of
some
plot
questions
is
about
plit.
that daughter.
Are you stimulating the plit?
Well, in this movie, it's hard to find the plit.
It's behind the blood.
Shit, that's where they've been keeping it. Okay,
Oh Jesus!
I gotta go, you guys.
Yeah.
Take my severance.
It's turning into like a fucking zombie.
It's
How dare you?
listen to Zombievers,
Yeah.
I think.
Big beef.
Well, they're gonna listen to it before this one comes out because I mean, zombie.
If you want to be a
Whole different level.
completionist,
Well, yeah.
And all of
And
our
awesome.
listeners
All
do.
of them.
Yeah.
They have to
Right.
be. That's law.
right? Our voices are audio autographs into your soul.
My voice is my passport.
We were talking about
Identify
Digital.
we were talking about meeting the characters a little more. We also get a scene of Randy Quaid's character really brutalizing a newspaper delivery boy.
Oh my
Beats the
God!
hell
Yeah,
out of
He's
this.
kidding.
I would have run up and like if that happened
This
in
is-
my neighborhood,
Oh, yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
run up and tackled that man.
That man
You
would
have
have been
to
dead.
intervene.
Yeah.
This is child abuse.
I don't care how many remote controlled helicopters.
What are you
have.
doing, dude?
Right? I know you're a fucking weirdo, but you can't just do.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, to give if you haven't seen this, I mean, he has this kid in like one arm, and he's like shaking him like Bush porch.
Yeah.
You threw my paper in the bush. It goes on the porch. He's like shaking it in front. This kid in one arm.
It's a longer scene than you think,
nuts.
too. It's like a whole minute.
It did go on for quite a bit.
He's doing
Yeah,
like
it turned from comedy to like, like you're like, okay, I'm uncomfortable now.
he's
Thanks,
doing, like,
Randy.
the thing where the dog like messed on your floor, but with a human boy. And
Yeah.
even if it was a dog, you would be like, you are out of control. You are a maniac, and we need to stop you.
In the blooper reel, it was revealed that wasn't even a scene in the movie. That was just Randy Quaid off on the corner.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as that scene started, I said to myself, "This is the real
Randy
Quaid."
Quaid asked for a newspaper, and the kid who brought it to him. Yeah,
And they filmed the movie around it.
This movie.
that makes sense. Okay, so no job.
Well, then we get to meet Gary and his associate. There actually is now a job offer.
Yeah.
There's like me. Like, it doesn't seem that he can't get a job. I mean, this is clearly a huge blow. His wife is super supportive. We're gonna update your resume. Let's get you out there. Like, you'll figure it out. And like, things are kind of okay, going well. But again, Frank just over the years, not Frank, sorry, Arlo over the years. We've seen like Frank beat him down, his boss beat him down, life beat him down. He just doesn't feel any real self-confidence. But his wife seems super awesome. He does get a job interview. Seems like a dream job. Dave Thomas, who is Gary and his associate, are like, hey man, we want to give you $20,000 more than you're making. You'll get stock options. You'll get health benefits. You're going to get all this stuff. You're the man.
And that's
about town.
20,000 in the 80s. Man.
Yeah,
It's
this
not
is
a bad
huge.
fucking gig.
And they're all complimentary. Like, dude, you're a superstar. We've read your stuff. We saw some of your proposals. You're the engineer that we need. Awesome, awesome, awesome. But at the very last moment, there's a highlight. Yeah, so we'll pay for all of your moving costs. He's like, moving? They're like, oh, a little oversight. You need to move to Boise, Idaho. And
Dude, if somebody was like, hey, we will move you to Boise, Idaho. You got to pick up your family and go, and like you will like live the rest of your days like doing something you enjoy and getting paid well for it. I would fucking gas my family like B.A. Baracus in the A-Team, and then when they wake up, they would be in the fucking house in fucking Idaho, dude. Yeah, I would.
It was.
'Cause I
20
love that city. If you guys have never been there, it's fantastic. There's breweries everywhere. The fucking mountains are right there. It's awesome. It's not like you. It sounds like I'm describing.
It's not like
fucking
what I'm
Denver.
thinking it is, because I'm thinking it sucks.
Well, I went to Boise like 10 or 15 years ago, and it wasn't that great.
Okay.
No.
I think the hardest person this on, like, realistically, all jokes aside, if I were to analyze the situation, the hardest the move is going to be on is the daughter.
Is the daughter?
Yeah, she's 17. She just wants to finish her senior year. Like, all of her life, she has lived in this house, this town, this school, these friends. That totally sucks. I do feel for her.
That's
like,
true.
absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
that's legit.
the boys, how old do you think they are? Like 13-ish?
Well, they're
14-ish?
fucking like con artists. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, they have fucking defied the public education system, and they're fucking conning them.
I mean, their move is going to be, I guess, fine or rough, like as much as it could be. But they're going to meet like people really quick. Like moving your senior year, that seems awful. But these boys would be fine, and that would be it.
Well,
Like,
they're
I don't
twins. They're twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They exploit the shit out of that.
So, like, the
Yeah.
move isn't really terrible outside of the daughter. The daughter is straight up highlights to her friend, like, I'm not going to move. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm not going to break up my
I'll
boyfriend.
kill someone.
Yeah.
And she also has extra incentive because she just met a hot guy.
Yeah. Well, the hot guy won't marry her, though. So,
Oh, yeah.
Pretty fucked up.
yeah.
Just met a hot guy,
that's
and the next
kinda
day
nuts.
wanted to move, and she can't bang.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And there's probably not a ton of hot guys in Boise to smash. So,
No.
You don't think there's a bunch of cow-fed...
I mean, if
That's
like,
where you get that
down in
beef.
Boise?
so if- yeah. What,
Beef and taters.
Paul, what is that in Boise?
Yeehaw.
What's that?
Is it what kind of beef is in Boise?
Big beef.
Is it the big beef? Okay.
The big beef. Only the big beef.
I thought it might be.
Oh yeah, the big beef.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the big beef.
Jeremy, I don't want you to ever forget about the big beef.
Yeah.
No, I'll never
Big
forget
beef.
about the big beef.
They're discussing the move over dinner, and this is
Yeah.
when everybody's like, nah.
No, fuck this.
He's kind of hinting around it, too. He's piling those potato spuds on his plate like,
Yeah, he's like building He's building like the Richard Dreyfuss mountain
Yeah.
out of mashed potatoes.
Just
Or
potato.
Weird Al and UHF.
Okay.
Parodying
Yeah.
that moment.
Meta, that's meta.
That is meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's trying to slide in. He's trying to incept the family with the idea that Idaho's is dope. And he's like, so I didn't accept. I do like you said, like, he says it repeatedly. I did not accept the job.
like
I
that.
didn't say, I said it, like, warning, but our lives would be awesome. And the family's like really supportive outside of the daughter who totally thinks it sucks.
Well, she says a couple choice things, has to deposit some stuff into the swear jar.
Many dollars.
Many dollars.
Yeah.
Then the mother brings out like a strip club
she's
grip
like-
of singles.
just came out of the strip
She's
club,
like,
dude.
children,
She's got
you need to
lots.
leave because I'm going to make it rain in this fucking in this swear jar to your father.
Yeah.
We don't know what she said.
Yeah, we don't see that scene.
No.
No, and then we do see shortly after, the daughter, two things are happening kind of simultaneously. Like the family, the mom and dad are looking for houses in Idaho, and the daughter's with her friend at the mall, and she's like, oh my God, like the friend's like, have you told your boyfriend that, you're moving? She's like, no, and that's when she says, I'm not moving. It's never going to happen. Even if I have to kill someone, and that is Casey, the daughter. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and she would too. So we see people are coming to look at the house. She's like vandalized her room.
Yeah, she makes it like a Manson murder. It's like
Right.
dye pigs and blood on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, she's remodeling the kitchen so that everything explodes. Good handiwork, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you just ruined like thousands of dollars of like,
Sure, yeah.
electrical units, and I mean, outside of you not moving and sabotaging your dad's life and career,
Right.
And your own stuff. They destroyed your own microwave and
I feel like
I was going to say, she
so did,
trashed that.
like, how much money do you think that they actually caused in damage to that fucking house?
More than the $20,000 extra dollars that
yeah.
he's making.
yeah,
Yeah,
Those were
I would have
$80,000.
taken my daughter to court.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's almost
People's
legally-
court.
People's court.
Yeah.
Maybe Gary
That's
Busey's
cheesy.
pet court.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens to the
Well, this
dog.
would have been like a Wapner kind of.
I just want you to remember when I was watching Gary Busey's pet court, he fined someone $50 for making him feel sad. So,
He was right to do it.
and he was right
for
He was
making
right.
him personally
Yeah.
feel sad, or the animal.
No, him.
No, him. As the judge, he fined someone in the courtroom $50 immediately because he's like, "You're making me sad."
Can you do that? I'm not well versed in law, but can you be like,
Well,
Judge, the
Well-
plaintiff is making me sad. I
Well,
would
I'm gonna-
like to petition.
I'm going to throw
for
this out.
money.
I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But in a fictitious setting, you could do anything you want.
I see.
Gary Busey could make that happen.
Gary
Yeah.
Busey's a national treasure.
When your gavel is also
know
a
pretty
much
wand.
anything.
When your gavel's also a wand.
I'm sorry. Is Gary
When your
Busey's gavel
gavel's
a
also
wand?
a
No, I'm
fucking
just- I'm just
coke
saying-
straw.
Okay, I see.
I'm saying that's how fictitious it is. when you live amongst the fantastical.
But that, I mean, if Gary Busey's gavel was something other than a gavel,
You call him Judge Boos.
Judge Boos.
Big Boos.
Yes.
What is Paul drinking? Is that a little Mexican water there?
Yeah, it's just tequila.
You don't get down?
Got the Chico in my hand.
it's a Topo Chico with tequila in it.
Yeah, that's Italian. That's Italian water.
It's ranch water, is what we call
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Wow.
We could be sponsored by Topo Chico, like Rabbit Troop Sucks.
I would love that.
Encourages that
That
you
would be
become
good.
part of the cult of Topo Chico. So, for money, I could pass that.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want money. So anyone who wants to wants to
Slide
sponsor.
it.
Well, I mean, if I
Point it your
learned
way.
anything from moving, amongst the things that they're moving, I mean, they find a house. Let's get to that. Cut back to scene. Now they're hiring a moving company. So yeah, Mike, based on this, I think if we want to earn a little extra scratch, we should all just get into a questionable moving company.
I'm in. Honestly, I think being like
Sounds like you guys have been part of a moving company without
Yeah.
really realizing. it.
honestly, I think that would be. I mean, I wouldn't want to pack people's shit for them, but like the people that have moved me in the past, they're just like dudes who seem pretty chill.
Like they move you emotionally.
They move me
Yeah,
on
They're
the
touch
inside.
therapists as well.
like
Yeah.
Prince of Tides in your heart.
It is. It's a little bit like that. They just show up. They're like maybe a little high. They're like, okay, I'm going to put these boxes in a truck and drive it somewhere.
Let's reenact it. Like, what's up, Paladin Mike? Sorry, I'm like,
What's up, broski?
I'm sorry, I'm like an hour late, Paladin, but let's get this move
We're gonna
on.
have to take the legs off this couch, bro. We can't get it through the door.
That was I had a couch delivered to my house today, and that was a similar situation.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Did they pass
Sorry, I'm like 10 minutes late. My associate's making sweet love to your flower bed outside.
Joke's on him. Those aren't flowers.
That's poison ivy, Tuggy.
Not again.
Yeah. So they're getting moved by some folks.
Emotionally.
Yeah, questionable folks.
Yeah, questionable folks.
So audition.
Let's not skip over the opening line of the movers.
This is good.
How's it hanging?
So I want to be Richard Pryor, and let's have Mike be the moving guy. So Mike, I'm Richard Pryor.
Okay. Should I do like a racist accent or just like, oh hey, how's it hanging?
How's what hanging?
Your dick.
This is when I paused the film.
To the left.
I was like, I need to use the restroom. I'm going to get a drink, and we're going to restart this film wherever we left off. I did not see that dialogue, that little tit for tat going.
Well, you've seen this movie before.
I did not remember that exact line.
Same here.
Your mind represses that every time, so you can experience it fresh with every viewing.
Emotional trauma.
I just can't for the life of me. Like, I feel part of the joke is like. Right then and there. So they're interviewing for movers. So if I didn't get that clear, like there's going to be multiple people showing up,
trying to make a good first impression
at the front door.
That's yes, Rami. That's what say. Like we're not even in the house at the front door. That's your opening line, and I'd be like, this conversation is over. There is a Netflix dating series, and I think it's canceled. And it was just like people would go on like 3 dates, and at the end they'd choose if they wanted to go on the date with someone else. And my wife and I were watching it. It was kind of more of like a serious dating show. It wasn't like a game show, so that's kind of why I liked it. And this woman went on a date with someone, and it was like literally like 5 to 10 minutes in the restaurant. And this guy was a huge sleaze bag. And the show wasn't like that. Like the show was like not like, it did not look like it was setting up people like to be punked or like terrible dates. But this guy like kind of turned. Like he was like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. But he, 10 minutes into the date, started getting weird and saying like all these like sexual innuendos. And she's like, oh, something like they were like ordering some kind of appetizer. And the guy's like, it's kind of big for an appetizer. And she's like, oh, no, I'm really hungry. Like I would totally like have a big appetizer. And the date was like, this again, 10 minutes into it, the date's like, so you like it big, girl? And she turned around and got so serious, and rightfully so. And she goes, are you being serious right now? He's like, yeah, so you like it big? And she goes, this date is absolutely over. Walked off, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
I have never seen a dating show. I was like I stood up and clapped that day.
So she didn't.
That's
she didn't
why it
like
was.
She did not pick that guy.
because fucking nobody likes real life.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. To Mike's question, she did not pick that gentleman. She picked someone else. I was like, and everyone else like, was clearly like nice, and I like that again. That was like a really weird one-off of that show, where we never saw anything like that. But I was like, yeah. So that's where we're at in this movie. Weird
Richard
things said.
Pryor's now on a dating show.
I mean, so like,
Real
yeah,
quick.
you're gonna hire this person now. I'd be like, I would shut the door and we're done. But they're insistent, friend. They're inside.
And robbing.
Oh, yeah.
Just stealing everything that's
Yeah,
not.
the guy's like, eventually, one of the guys is going through the wife's purse.
yeah. And they catch him.
And he's like, she's just crazy.
Yeah, but the wife's just a little more like, get out of here, you little scamp. And then it's like, Arlo, he's in my purse. But later in life, she's like pouring this dude lemonade. So I don't know.
I'm tired of this tomfoolery.
Arlo.
His name is Arlo Pear, isn't it? Like pear?
Yeah.
Oh, the Pear family?
That's America, man.
Yeah. Well, it's
Arlo Pear.
better than pineapple.
It's an odd name.
That's
that
true.
A
Arlo pineapple.
Or the kumquats.
brand of pear or type of pear?
Bartlett.
Yeah, like one of those.
Yeah.
Is there an Arlo pear that
Maybe. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. So there you go.
What are they?
Yeah.
Pear enough?
While you look that up, we skipped over a scene with their loan officer.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a little bit
I read
later.
trivia on
It
this.
was the scene
Apparently
right
they're
before this one, so it's not really important to the movie. They just
It's
kind
not,
of
but
blended
he's
this in.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I like this. It's like 5 minute scene.
He appears after they are trying to buy the next house.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. So we're like a stone's throw away. So let's just jump there. So we meet Rodney Dangerfield, who's essentially their loan officer. He's not too sure about loaning them the money, but it kind of unfolds why. Because he's bet, what was like 40% of the bank's money on a horse race.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seems like a sure thing.
The horse is never lost in the wet.
I know.
On a
I mean,
wet track.
On a wet
right,
track.
but
Yeah, this is right out of fucking Seinfeld, right?
But
It is, yeah. He's a mudder. Loves the mud.
Loves the butt.
is he
I should
Butlin?
say Seinfeld's right out of this because they stole that from this movie. I
Yeah,
think
probably.
Seinfeld was after 1988.
That episode for sure was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so they watched the race on a little, the smallest Sony television that has ever been made.
They made these things, didn't they?
Yeah,
Whoa, whoa,
100%.
I need to pause here.
Okay.
This seems like a conversation Lamar and I have had many times throughout our life. These Sony mini TVs were like my dream as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I did not own one at
No
any
one
point in
had
time.
one.
But there were also
Rodney had the only one.
Everyone wanted one.
oh yeah, like the Sony like Watchman or like whatever it was called. It was a little TV with a dial. Anytime you would see it in a movie or whatever, it would look crystal clear. So in my mind, if you had this, it was like what my iPhone could do now
Goddamn
easily,
right.
or generations ago. But as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, can you even imagine? You're just like watching TV in crystal clear technology. I could pop in some headphones. I could be in a tent. God damn it! I could be in the bathroom by a shower. I could be watching TV anywhere I want."
They represented it pretty accurately in this movie.
Crappy.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone knows someone who had one, I think, or like kind of like a version.
Yeah.
So I remember I think like an uncle or something had one. I was like, oh my god, like I could get like almost one channel, and they're like, yes, welcome to reality, young boy. And I'm like, but yeah, this one gets a little more clarity.
A little bit, but it still looks like shit.
Yeah,
But his horse comes in.
Yeah,
Fucking
and
right it does.
So they
At
get
first-
Get the loan.
Yeah, well, at first they're like, this is the driest track I've ever seen, and he's like, whoopsie daisies.
It's so hilarious because like they do get the loan. Like at first I was like, man, this is gonna fail. Like what the fuck?
That's the
What the
vibe.
fuck's gonna have to go through now? But it goes through, and I think it kind of just went through just so that Rodney Dangerfield could be in this.
Yeah.
100%.
But it was a good scene. I liked
Yeah.
it.
I mean, again,
Yeah, like they moved it along. It was a funny
Right.
scene. Yeah.
that's most of this movie. Most of this movie doesn't need to be here, but it's pretty good.
That's very true. I want to say like 90% of the movie.
Correct.
them riffing.
Yeah, like that's how the
goofing
movie
around.
probably came about.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of going out of order here, but as we mentioned, the daughter doesn't want to go. She's doing everything in her power to not go, including trying to get married. So, the Richard Pryor gets a phone call from like family friends who are like, "Hey, your daughter's getting married right now, right?"
She's at the Chapel of Love,
Yeah.
friend.
So they run down there, and her boyfriend said no.
Is a pornographer.
So was this Morris Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's marrying Morris Day, who wants to give her the jungle love.
Big guy.
He turns around
He's-
the big eyes. This is Moore's
yeah.
Day of the
He's
time, baby.
crazy eyes.
He does have the crazy eyes. I love this scene. It did nothing for the movie. It meant nothing.
No, it was hilarious.
But it was great.
Of all the scenes that do nothing for the movie, this
That's
was
what I'm
one of
saying
my
though. Like
bigger
this,
scenes. Yeah.
my favorite scenes in the movie were not like with Richard Pryor. They were like with the other people, like
Yeah.
Randy Quaid and fucking
Randy.
Rodney. And, yeah,
Rodney.
So they're getting married.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor is not happy about this. It doesn't seem anyone is. So they make an agreement. Whatever. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, because he said he was going to take like pictures of his daughter. He's like, yeah, I'll take.
Well,
sensual.
someone did.
Big
Because,
eyes were.
weren't the brothers like trying to sell Polaroids at the yard
yeah,
sale?
yard sale.
They've
That's late.
been in, and this is what I don't understand. They've been enrolling in like elementary school as one person when they're
Right.
twins.
Good. That was in Idaho.
And so they
yeah.
they like tag team each other. I guess they spend a half the day in
It was
the
their
fucking
bit
shitter.
from,
I don't know.
Yeah.
from track. They were running
Yeah.
the races.
They're winning races, but yeah.
Yeah, so earlier in the movie, we're shown that these kids are winning races in track and field by, one kid runs the majority of the race and then, secretly switches out because they're identical twins. But now in Idaho, their game plan is only one kid exists, and the other kid, as Jeremy noted, just stays in the bathroom stall.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
It sounds awful. Is it worth it for the old switcheroo?
I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, if
It
you
was,
have
I
one
don't know. In
brother,
today's society, I feel like you could stay in a bathroom stall for a while with like a phone,
just
but
dicking
back
around.
then, man,
maybe
yeah,
not
it's
for
a lot of
30
What did you
minutes.
even do? Like comic books or something?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
just
know.
raw dog in the bathroom stall all day. I don't know.
They would call it a flushing success.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Flushing.
Well, so the kids are reacting differently. Yeah, the twins are like kind of trying to game the system. The daughter does not end up getting married to Morris Day.
Oh, no.
The old couple, whoever the fuck they are, they're like, you can just live with us. And the daughter's like, okay.
They're like, Casey, we've loved you like a daughter. We've not even been in this movie, and I've been baking you cookies and giving you a sweater, and you're my Christmas pen pal. Live with us. And Casey's like, damn right, I will. And the parents are like, fantastic.
Yeah, great. We don't have to
yes.
bring this bitch with us. That's cool.
I'm glad I'm not the only one
dude. Who the fuck would do this?
who were
You
these
just leave
people?
your
Who were they?
7-year-old daughter.
No one knows.
Never came up.
Isn't there an M. Night Shyamalan movie like this?
Yeah, all of them.
Visitors or
It's a combination of The Village and
The Pissin' In?
There's
yeah.
a new M. Night Shyamalan movie coming out soon.
I know.
Like
He
at
goes to a
beginning of
concert.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes to a concert. I'm sure that'll be a thrill a minute. Isn't there one that his daughter is directing? Because
That's the one.
that's that one.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah,
Shit out of this.
she can't be any
Double
worse
sham.
at this.
Oh,
than
they're
her father.
double teaming it.
Double Shyamalan.
Shimma.
Did you say double shamrock?
That's the
Yeah,
shim
double
sham
sham.
right there.
That's what you get at McDonald's.
Oh, Shim Sham.
Have the double
I'll
shamrock.
take the double
Yeah.
shamrock
The double
right
sh-
to the face.
The double shamrock at McDonald's is they give you a shamrock, but you give a guy an extra 20, and he pours like cheap liquor in it at the dumpster.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Oh,
fun.
I would.
That's
That,
a Shoney special.
That sounds
right
better.
there.
I would do that. That sounds good.
That's
For
that's
20?
That's the Bob Evans claw pit.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
One of the other questionable decisions that they make in this movie is, so this is a household with two adults. They have two cars. One of them is Richard Pryor's pride and joy, a Saab 900 Turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He elects to hire Dana Carvey to drive it across the country rather than doing it himself like a fucking normal person.
Like a real master of disguise.
Yeah, so and it is the master of disguise, Dana Carvey, because this gentleman has multiple personality disorder. The one,
Yeah,
who
does his wife not know how to drive? Because I would
I
be
asked
like,
her
yeah, you're
exact
going to drive the
goddamn
station
same
wagon. I'm going to drive the Saab. I'll
Yeah.
follow you.
That's what I'm saying, Jeremy.
He's a family guy. He's going to drive with his family in a family car.
That's
Because he's
that
a
sucks.
pussy.
Yeah,
This is like
damn.
National Lampoon's Vacation. But all I could really say to Dana Carvey is, thanks.
thanks.
I like to play.
Turtle. A tiny winner and some little nuts.
Are we gonna do Master of Disguise at some
Yeah,
point?
we're going to do all the fucking disguises, Mike.
Because that,
Oh, so you're saying we're in a dress up?
yeah,
I love it.
Jeremy's
every-
gonna wear the turtle
Plan
suit.
for that.
I think everyone's going to be really excited that we're going to cosplay this one.
Yeah,
We can't all just hog the turtle suit. Someone.
we're all gonna be in the turtle suit together.
We're not all.
There's a
turtly enough for
surprise
the
about
turtle
Dana
club.
Carvey, though, that's going to come up later.
That's very
He's actually a
Right,
turtle.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's nice and straight laced.
He's coming out of his shell.
He meets Arlo. He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to drive your car." In fact, he convinces Arlo, "Yeah, I'm just gonna hand my keys to my Saab 900 Turbo over to you because I like your attitude."
Straight laced. He's real polite. He doesn't
Yeah.
drink.
What do you
Yeah.
think about the Saab 900 Turbo, Mike? I feel like that's a car you might be familiar
You can
with.
speak on that.
Jeremy, I've owned 3 of them. that car was my first car, a 1987
There you go.
Saab
Nice.
900
Wow.
Turbo. Yeah.
I didn't even know that, and I asked that question.
Yeah, you could-
I
you
feel
could
like
tell.
I'm kind of psychic.
I owned a Saab up until 2 years ago.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
You'll own
I
a
know.
Saab again in the future. Is what
Man,
you're saying.
maybe. I don't know. They stopped making them like 15 years ago, so they're getting a little long in the tooth.
But you still like it.
But I do still like them. I would own another one. Yeah. I don't know why he's hiring someone to drive this car.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
either.
All right, continue on, please.
Okay.
Clearly, his wife doesn't have a driver's license. That's the only explanation.
But I mean, presumably she does because she has a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got the
She
family
drives that station
truckster.
wagon
Right.
all the
right.
time.
My
It's a
thought.
station wagon.
Yeah, my thought is because
That's a tough beast to control. That was my first car,
This
Paul.
is-
You remember
lot of
riding around
power.
that thing, man.
This is the 80s. They show him driving literally to work in the Saab. But in that station wagon, I assume that's the mom's car. She's in charge of the kids. She's probably doing all the kid stuff. This is totally the 80s where the mom has to do everything with the kids. So she's probably given more, this then in the early 90s, late 80s, it comes the minivan, stuff like this. So yeah, I totally agree with Lamar. Not that I agree with what's happening, but he clearly takes the route of, I'm going to be the family man. I'm going to be, the Chevy Chase of National Lampoon's Vacation and like get into the Roadster and, we're going to do this as a family. We're going to love this as a family. And half the family's kind of in.
Yeah, I got a feeling there was probably some driving scenes that were omitted from this movie. That's the reason why they're driving as a family. Every movie has that, like you said, family. National Lampoon's going to be the Chevy Chase character. You're going to drive around cross country from New Jersey to Idaho and get into some adventures. But it's really just them being from New Jersey to Idaho, no adventure at all. You just get there.
The real trivia was it was a scene-by-scene recreation of National Lampoon's Vacation, and they thought that would be fun, but they just deleted those scenes.
It'd be Richard Pryor's foul mouth instead of Chevy Chase's foul mouth.
They stopped at that really kitschy little motel or whatever.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's the only scene on the road.
Well, there was. This is kind of.
Get a cheeseburger.
There was kind
In
of
Paradise.
No. Get out.
Fries.
Get out. The one National Lampoon scene that we kind of had was, when Chevy Chase is driving. Who's the model? From
Christy Brinkley.
it was the Christy Brinkley scene, but it's Dana Carvey wearing a dress driving his Saab.
Yeah, we find out
yes,
later in the
yes.
like shortly into the move
Disconcerting.
that the kids are like, oh my god, they see on a magazine rack that Dana Carvey's character is on it. He's like
The man with 8 personalities.
who's escaped, and he's like, oh my god, that's the guy driving my car.
It was a slow news day for People magazine,
No,
apparently.
they were reading Psychology Today, and they saw him on the photo, the cover.
Yeah.
And the article was a guy of multiple personality disorders. Dana Carvey's character, I can't remember his name.
No.
But they open up the page, and there's like 8 characters that he apparently dives in between.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they're in Boise now.
They're in Boise, yeah.
Everything should be okay. The moving company we did skip over is he hired a moving company, but the fake moving company, well, I shouldn't say fake, the bully moving company that he didn't hire, they actually moved him. This is 3 tough dudes, one including wrestler King Kong Bundy.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Is he dead? I don't know.
They break all of his
Yes.
shit. They break all of his shit, throw it into a moving van, and move, sort of.
Yeah.
They were like, you should really go to Louisiana, go to New Orleans.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi
bro.
Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and he's like, no. They're like, you should do that. He's like, nah, man, I gotta go to Boise. They're like, okay. So they go to Mardi Gras.
Yeah. They look like they were having a great time, too.
Also, another thing, the house.
There's no way you would have let these guys pick up your shit, man.
Yeah.
No way. There's
I would have
no way in a
I would have been
million
on the phone to
years.
Hummingbird like, look, bitch, you got to get these guys out of here.
Yeah,
Give me my money back.
Another thing to note is when they were looking at houses, they find there's dream home. It's like 4
We're
bedrooms.
taking it with us.
Yeah, and the family keeps joking. They're like, oh my God, we love these tiles. They're like, oh, we're taking it with us. Oh, we love this painting. We love, this wood, enclosure. We love the kitchen supplies. We're
Great
taking it with us.
built-ins. Oh, we're taking it with us.
And fun enough, they do. They take it all with them. Stones, the stones for the pool, the water for the pool is gone. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
Sell that on the market. This is pure pool water from
What the
Boise.
fuck are you gonna do with a used pool?
You make peanut butter the way God intended.
You can't just put a pool.
How do you make peanut butter?
He's dragging it
With-
behind the car.
Oh, let me backtrack. How do you make peanut butter with wine? That's how you make.
That's how you use a used pool.
I was just saying you drink a bunch of wine and then you think you can make peanut butter. And then you wake up and that's what happens. Half your house is gone and someone stole the copper wiring. So, great times.
I like peanut butter.
Like copper wiring.
Calm down.
I do,
Skippy.
yeah.
Based off a later conversation, I was kind of going back to this conversation, well, a later conversation that Arlo has with these sellers. They laugh a couple times, but after a while, they stop laughing after they say, we're taking it with us.
No, they quit saying, just joking.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
We're joking. They said that like after apparently two of
the first two things. Afterwards, the jokes stop, and it's just the laughter.
Yeah, I was like, I never said like I would take the ceiling fan. That I said I was joking, and then I stopped saying I was joking.
Could you like? I can't even imagine somebody that would do this. That would take like all the shit.
Bro,
Just
can you
pure
imagine the
psychos.
lawsuit that would follow?
Oh my god,
100%.
Yeah, we had a brief conversation about the legality of all this. And
Yeah. Oh my god.
Here's the real problem with that lawsuit. It would take probably way longer than you would want to see this through. Meanwhile, you're in a home without any of these things.
You know what?
Yeah, it's just money.
Out
You're
of
just suing
principle,
over money.
I would go for it.
I would 100%.
I don't
just
care
for the money.
how long.
You gotta
Oh,
pay
yeah.
them.
I'm
I'm
hunting
going for
these
it.
old people down. Like they're fucking my enemy now.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, dude. I am like the fucking predator now. Yeah. Yeah, like I will fucking do whatever it takes. You know? I will blow up a neighborhood.
Well, whatever.
No, I won't do that.
I
Sorry.
will Randy Quaid these bitches.
Yeah. I'll go full Randy Quaid.
We were watching the movie, the sequel. I know there's a third part to The Strangers the other night. And I told everyone when this young woman was running, I was like, Jeremy verbatim, and I thought of you. I was like, if I were her, I would run into the woods and I would put my mud all up in my face and I would become the hunter of the predator. like that was the only option at the time. She did not do this. I thought it was a mistake.
No, she didn't.
It was a mistake.
It was
would
a
have paid off.
Everything in that movie was a mistake.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like Prey?
How did you know?
I overall liked it.
that movie was all right.
Yeah.
It was okay.
For what that movie was, I was fine with it.
But like,
I enjoyed
literally
it, yeah.
Every scene, everyone in it did the exact opposite of what any normal person.
Actually,
would do.
I disagree, Mike.
No,
It's fine, Mike.
Don't.
I don't think the parents did in that movie. I think they had some bad luck, but I think the kids absolutely did what you said.
the
Like,
kids
what-
absolutely. I guess the mom was my biggest issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it the suicide part?
Well-
where she's like, "You got to get out of here, and I'm gonna die."
Well, instead of like
Just like moving.
fucking turning around or fighting back, she's
Similar.
like, I'm gonna look up the skylight at my daughter while this person stabs me in the back.
She literally did.
Yeah, and that's what she did. Like,
Just like Richard Pryor. He could have fought back. He could have fought back for his job. He could have fought against the movers. He could have fought for his daughter a little more, but he didn't.
no.
But he does later.
But
Well, I don't think he
sometimes-
likes his daughter very much because he was pretty quick. He was pretty quick to let
he
her
likes-
stay in New Jersey.
I have a son that is entering into adolescence, and I can tell you that it's getting hard.
That's
So
nice.
if someone 3/4 of the way across the country was like, "Yeah, you can live with me," and you'd be like, "Sick, all right."
No,
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be like that's strange, dude. Like I would love to say yes. I would love to say yes. But as a responsible adult, I have to say no.
You
You
don't-
have to come with us to Boise, Idaho.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's your loss, I guess.
We'll hook you on meth. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
In Boise, they give it to you when you get off the airplane. I think it's like the lay in Hawaii. It's just, here's the meth, here's the
that's nice.
potato.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's true.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Are there other places that anyone's ever traveled to where you get gifts? I've never been to Hawaii, but like the idea of you get the lei, they put it on you. Is there anywhere else you've ever heard of that you get like, welcome to our country, here's a gift?
I don't know. You've been to Japan. Do they give you anything?
They are like, if you want to turn in your receipts for clothes, you could wait in line for 1 hour and we'll give you probably $1 American back. Thank you for your time.
all right.
Okay.
And that's the gift that keeps on giving.
All right, thank you. Japanese airports alone, like, do they give anything back? Going to a Japanese airport is the gift. Like, super clean playgrounds, like really awesome food.
In the airport. Super clean playground.
Oh my God, yeah. So, we went
God,
to...
we have gotten off topic. What the fuck have we done here, Paul?
we went
Moving
to...
this on you.
In our last trip to Japan, we went to, those like, those lounges. You pay like $50 to go to a lounge. Has anyone ever done this? So we only did this on this trip. So like we have never done this, and I know a lot of people are like, go to the lounge, it's worth it. And like we're just like very like kind of like, I don't want to say cheap, but just like we're very conservative with some of our money. Like we'd rather spend it towards a hotel than like fun at an airport. But on the trip to Japan, we're like, screw it. Like we're going to be at this airport for 5 hours. Let's pay $50 each. You get to sit in like a nice like plush chair. You could recharge your phone. There's TVs. The airport in LA had a shower. And then there's unlimited food and drinks, and that includes alcohol. Yeah. And so like that, we're like, okay, and I don't really drink. So, and especially when I'm like flying and like internationally flying, I don't drink. But who cares? We had tons of food. And at Japan, the lounge has freaking beer, like Japanese beer on tap, sushi rolls that are constantly coming out. It was insane, dude. Like I would go to a Japanese airport lounge and pay money at any point in time. It was awesome. It was the best.
Like what
I feel
happens
like
if
that's
you
where
were
the
Tom
drinking-
Hanks and you got stuck at that airport instead of the airport Tom Hanks?
You'd be
Now
fine.
you're thinking.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Now you're thinking.
Like Terminal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. But he got stuck at a fucking airport in the United States.
In Japan,
So-
it's called Terminal Sun.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely for going to the airport and drinking your day away right there in the lounge. I'd pay $50 for that.
Lounges are every time I travel. I have.
Well,
you get in there.
that's kind of the crazy thing.
You have to. Yeah.
Like, although I don't drink, and you could get like minor cocktails too, and I think like it is standard you would tip, but the cocktails are free at certain ones. Like that's what I saw in LA. My thought alone too is like, you could probably just drink your way there in like 30 minutes, like depending on what your alcohol tolerance is and your weight is. Like you have like 7 drinks, like oh my god, at an airport that'd be like $700. But at that lounge it was $50. Boom.
Right. It's just nice to hang out somewhere where there aren't like 80,000 kids running around.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking.
Give me that lounge.
Yeah,
Every time.
Even so clearly, much the difference is the Japanese lounges, the kids well behaved and or asleep in a plush chair. You know, boom. So even if you're an anti-kid, you probably didn't see or hear them whatsoever.
That's how children should be.
That was the Japanese beer.
Good luck,
putting them to
Mike.
sleep.
Yeah.
Here's a salmon roll. Here's a Kirin. Go to bed. Go to bed, baby.
Yeah.
Moshi moshi, Miko-san.
What's up with that moving?
I don't know.
We're moving.
We're moving, yeah. Yeah, where the fuck are we?
We're watching Babe Pig in the City.
They have a yard sale.
That'll
That we
do. I
talked
think
about
we're-
it.
The yard sale was like an hour ago.
Yeah,
in this
we're
movie.
moving,
Right.
friend.
Shit,
Almost to
dude.
the part where Richard Pryor goes Mad Max.
So Richard Pryor, they're in the house. Everything's missing. None of their shit's showing up because they're in fucking New Orleans.
And to bring us on track, I don't know, I'll lead you there, Mike. We're one step
Lead me.
away from him losing his job that
Correct.
he just got. So,
yeah, so he shows up to work on his first day. They're like, "Hey,
well,
welcome."
Dana Carvey first.
Oh, Dana Carvey, yeah, shows up with the car,
Yes.
which one of
Does
his
he?
personalities has turned into like a Mad Max car.
I don't feel the personality matches.
You haven't
like,
talked about the neighbor, though. The neighbor that he moved into.
Oh,
We'll
You
get
mean
there,
Randy
yeah.
Quaid?
yeah,
Are we not there yet?
we're at a Japanese airport, Jeremy. Come
We're in
on.
the lounge, bro. Come on, try to keep up.
They took a fucking huge layover somewhere.
You're drinking a carafe of sake and you don't know what's going on. So Dana Carvey shows up, and I don't feel his personality matches. And
Hey, bro, I got your car, man.
like so he's like in a mad.
driving
So
this
he
for our
turned the
friend.
Saab into a Mad Max Road Warrior vehicle. But yeah, as Mike noted, he's like, "Hey, bro," like he's like really flippant about the whole and cavalier about the whole situation. I know that's one of
A
his
piece of
personalities.
trivia about that car, the Mad Max car. That fucking there was a door that was pasted to the front of the car,
Yeah, the Chicago
and it was
PD.
an actual door from a Chicago police department car
sure it was.
at that
Alright.
time.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's awesome.
Nice.
It looked like it.
Well, I mean, what I read in trivia was Dana Carvey actually killed someone and made that car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like, Master of Disguise is more of like a documentary, like biopic, but played by him. It's like 3 tiers of meta.
Wow.
who knew?
Well,
How his character fit, especially if
Yeah.
you knew his character in the beginning. He was kind of vanilla. Now he's kind of, oh man, it was kind of crazy. It's not really Mad Max. It feels
Well, he's about
more like drug.
He went from
Yeah.
vanilla to Rocky
well, I
Road.
feel like there were some because it said he had 8. We only saw 3. We saw Straight Laced,
Yeah.
Stoner Bro, and the girl one.
yeah.
So there must have been a couple more in there that
Yeah.
did the car
and
stuff.
they ended up with he's just kind of strung out. He's done.
Are you saying Arlo has no Carlo?
Yeah, Carlo.
I
He's
would-
got a little
Paul, I would
Carlo.
never say that.
Like,
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know how to vocalize that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, now everything's going to hell, but at least he has his job.
He has his job. He drives his Mad Max car to the job. First day, ready to go. Not a good first day.
No.
Could have been better.
That's a bad
unfortunate.
first day.
Everyone's like, hey, you're a fantastic superstar. Here's your office. We're going to put you over here. Hey, you know what? Oh, my God, the press is breaking in. And the press is like, oh, my God, there's a $29 or $29 million.
15 million.
15
million.
$15 million scandal.
Same thing.
And what's going on? And they all point to Arlo.
Like, oh, it's probably Arlo's fault.
He's
right?
our engineer. He paid too much money. I don't know why he put in this kind of bid.
What was the last? Oh, what was
Like,
the
I was
last thing
just
he said?
sharpening my pencil. And he pointed his finger.
Yeah.
And he got his
First
finger,
of all,
index finger.
why wouldn't you just say like, dude, I literally just got this is my first sandwich.
Well,
I don't know what's going on, man.
Jeremy.
Like, I'm losing
As
it, dude.
he said it in his way. I was just sharpening my pencil.
Well, Jeremy, if this was like current times, like, and you had like the internet media in front of you, and someone like came up and accused me of this like right now, like in this situation, like day one of
I
your
would be
job,
like, yeah, this is like a fucking social media prank. That's immediately.
Oh my
what I would
God,
tell you.
Jeremy, I would stand up, I would be clapping and laughing. I'd be like, I'm either getting punked or I'm about to
Yeah.
win like the biggest lawsuit ever. Like,
Right.
guys, I just got moved here. I have proof that I've never done anything, and I'm being set up as the biggest patsy in the world. Like, it would be fun. I'd be getting people to ghostwrite my biography. I would.
You'd be ghostwriting the whip.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in this state for 24 hours. I
Right.
don't know
Right.
what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Like, I don't have a house with a pool. Like,
I don't even have doors.
no, yeah.
I've gone to a gas
he goes
station and a
into this-
grocery store.
When he goes into this job, like the first person that he meets is
It's-
this
it's-
red-haired
it's
lady
called-
named Nina Franklin.
It's called
and
Job.
I just want to give a shout out to her because, good for her, man.
Jeremy doesn't discriminate.
No.
Nina Franklin.
Nina.
Yeah. I don't think that's her real name. That's the name that was in the movie, but I didn't take a chance to really look it up, and I don't care, but good for her.
Hey, Jeremy, the internet's a wild ride. You could find a lot of things out there.
I hope Mike's finding it for me.
I am looking it up.
Mike's got it down on like a right hand where he's just doing it without even looking. That's how Mike texts now. He's like,
Wow.
click, click, click. He's like, whatever you need.
Yeah, I text like
Yeah.
in The Departed, just in my pocket with one hand.
Big beef.
Big beef.
Don't.
Oh, that's my least favorite one. Guys.
What is that, man?
Yeah, one comes in kind of limp and it's low. There you go. That's
There we
where
go.
everything.
It's to the bottom right, Mike. I always feel like gravitate towards it. Just because it's to the bottom right. But I understand what you're saying. How about classic? You can't find that off the troop anywhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want derailed conversations and noise boxes,
That's what they come here for.
they do.
Yeah.
like a variety pack of cereals. Mama told me you never know what you're gonna get.
Oh my God.
Well, after Arlo's set up as a patsy, he just freaks out. He goes home and he
does.
becomes Tiger Claw, Road Warrior, Ball of Rage, Bruce Leroy, Got the Glow, all at once. He is Lion-O from the Thundercats.
He goes
In
to,
modern parlance,
Well, he gets
becomes
drunk
the White
first.
Claw.
Yeah, he goes. This is
he
where he goes
becomes
to
the
a bar.
White
So he goes to a
Claw.
bar earlier, I think, but he goes to a bar here, gets drunk, and sees the movers just out
Yeah, just
randomly
out in front.
And
They're
that's what
screaming.
that's what makes him
screaming
lose his
at
goddamn mind.
Yeah, well,
Hey, guys.
and he ties his tie
Time
like a
fucking brawl.
bandana, and it's on. I don't know where he gets the gun.
Where does
I
he
was
get the gun?
I think they were just
That's
in
what
his Mad Max.
I think they're in the car.
Well, yeah,
That's the most wild car chase scenes
Once
that
you-
I've ever seen.
one of my notes was, where does he get the guns? I'm glad we're all on board because
Yeah,
he's got like
thank
an Uzi and like a bandolier of bullets.
I do have a theory. I believe that once you enter Idaho, as you stop for customs or whatever, I assume there's customs to get into Idaho.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
like crossing a border.
here are your guns. And we salute you.
Well,
Road warrior.
Rami, if you were unaware of the national motto, or I'm sorry, the state motto, it was "Welcome to Idaho, anything go." Rami's right. Like once you're in, hey, welcome, pilgrim.
Why not?
When you're here, you're like family with guns.
Man, it's not about the killing.
Big beef.
It's about the family.
Big
about
beef.
the family
It's about that
and
big beef
and the big
those,
beef.
Those old taters up
Lamar,
there.
it's not about the killing. Sometimes, I've really thought about that. It's about family.
All the time.
Well, Arlo just freaks out. He goes.
We haven't discussed the fact that he has kidnapped, I believe, somebody, or has he not kidnapped?
Well, in a second. In a second.
He does on the way.
Yeah, in a second. Yeah. So
He didn't have time to stop. He just had to.
Yeah, he's in the car. Like now, it's like straight up Mad Max. He's going against the movers. He's gonna kill them. I'm not even like pulling punches.
Yeah.
Like it's clear that he's got Uzis and like rockets, and he's going to kill them.
I'm not even sure why, because they're here to deliver his stuff.
Sort of like
They drove here from New Orleans.
I don't understand the movers' game plan.
No,
Like,
no one does. They just want to have fun.
So, yeah, well,
That's right.
why did you even go to Boise? Like,
There's probably half up front, half out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
wanted to get. There was a tip in it for them. So
yeah, Rami, I agree. Like, the only reason they would still be there, like, this, nothing's tying them. They've broken all this guy's shit. Like, they don't give a shit. They've clearly blown all the money on Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like antagonizing them. But then, yes, Jeremy, he picks up Gary, Dave Thomas, and he's like, I know you fired me. Here's this crazy story hole. I know you fired me and set me up as a patsy, and you're going to do all these terrible things, but I've got this idea. I'm going to get this game plan back in action. Everything's going to be super cool, and hire me back on because I think we could build this like monorail Simpsons thing. And he's like, I don't know, buddy. And he's like, well, think about it. Here's the car. I'm going to go like attack all of these movers.
he had a pretty convincing spiel.
I think that's how you pitch an idea in Idaho.
He's like, I build monorails in every city from Shelbyville to
It was a sticky wicket.
yeah.
He's going to bring it to Idaho, and everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And so he basically gets on a ladder. He gets into another truck of people. They think that he's a terrorist, and he's like, no, I'm just going against the movers. And they're like, oh.
Like, oh shit, we'll help.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds
I
fun.
He's
Yeah.
a terrorist, Paul. Yeah, I mean, why would anybody think that? Is it because he has his face painted?
Yeah.
It could be.
Because he's got a
Maybe
large
he's
gun
painted
and his
he has
face is
2
painted.
or 3 large guns.
Yeah.
Did anyone else catch the disconnect between his face paint when he started driving and his face paint when they cut to him again?
I did.
It tripled.
Yeah, got a little more on it.
Well,
They-
this whole scene, the car that he was in, the seats changed 3 times. Yeah. So there was some consistency.
It was a tough scene to record.
Yeah, they had to redo it a few times probably. But he gets on the truck with the help of whoever the fuck he has helping him.
Was that like a lawn crew?
Yeah, they're in.
And
They
that
were like,
ladder
it was like
scene.
a landscaping truck
Yeah.
with people riding
Just riding on the
dangerously
top.
Hear,
Yeah.
hear me out. I assume on the way out that landscaping crew was like, if you ever need anything, here's my card.
Right.
And he was
Yeah.
like,
He's like,
"You're-
well,
you're
I-
hired forever.
I gotcha.
I have a house with no doors, so I
have a pre-dug pool.
I'm looking for
If
some
we could come out
GC
and
here.
complete that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How I want to know how the old couple got that pool moved.
It's impossible.
I mean,
They
that's
didn't.
that's
They
a
just
separate movie.
they blew it the
right
fuck
there.
up just to spite them.
entirely impossible.
That's a
Yeah.
series of movies. That's a series on Netflix. How I've moved my pool.
And just think about it.
you
They
hook
paid,
it to the back of your
This-
Cadillac car, and
the ser-
you just drive.
The series is called Screwing Them.
It's an offshoot of
I
Chop
would
Shop.
watch that series.
Chop Shop.
Take as much fixture as you can out of the house when you leave and screw it
Right.
over to new people.
Screwing Them.
And while we're talking about impossible things, what is up with his ladder situation in this scene?
Well, I do
Don't
wanna
worry
know-
about the ladder.
I do want to know.
It's one of those fancy Idaho ladders.
He still had a landline, so nicely enough, the people took all of the cords, everything out of the walls. But
course
not,
the
not,
landline
yeah,
works.
not that.
Well, that's just rude.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
It was an essential.
Yeah.
We're not gonna leave a guy without this.
It's just messed up.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So he has navigated his way over to this moving vehicle, a
Yes.
moving 18-wheeler,
He's badass on the top of it.
landscaping
Yeah.
ladder.
Yeah, so he basically has them drive into a warehouse area.
I think where he drove into is like a place like in Colorado, you get going downhill on some of these
Like
mountains, and they
the
have
runoff
like the
ramp?
area
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
This is a place for fucking kidnap trucks, dude. It's made of like fine dirt where
Sure.
the truck can slow down rapidly.
Well,
and then
he-
you can get out, fight.
Oh, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because
Idaho has hijack ramps.
because he gets out,
Yeah,
and
these places.
he gets out and just kicks the shit out of these guys ninja style.
Well,
Just-
he's doing like
does, dude.
backflips and shit.
You learned how to do backflips.
his
Got
dreams
a
came true.
Backflip off the
Unbelievable.
top of the truck onto the trailer and then onto the ground. He's
Full circle.
Doing these chops, karate chops, making these scenes.
It's full circle. This guy's
Yeah.
come back.
Exactly.
Everything's
Yeah.
great.
He's a badass.
He's
Rambo.
transitioned now.
So he has tamed the movers because he is now riding it. He is riding on top of the moving truck going home, and everything's gonna.
yeah.
be
He's
okay.
ghost. I said he's ghost
that's
riding
not.
a whip. Yeah.
That's fine, dude. Idaho,
Yeah.
they love that shit.
So yeah,
You
there's a
can
lot
ride
of
anywhere
stuff
you
going.
want.
Right. So one. Let's go off some checklists.
that's true.
His items are now back. He's got his items back. Everything's going well.
Kick the mover's ass. Discipline.
I know we kind of skimmed over this. Not a big deal. Corey, the daughter, she has agreed to come home. She's missed mom and dad. She's missed the family.
Right.
She's going to finish everything off in Idaho. So she's back. Like, it's kind of like a big surprise. Like, everything's going well. Gary, Dave Thomas rolls up. He's like, you know what? I'm going to give you the job. I think you're the man for the job. Regardless of a media scandal and
We didn't even
notes of
talk about that
embezzlement.
though. Like the board of directors for this whole thing, like he kidnapped this man, did he not?
Not really.
Lightly.
There was a
He was in the Mad Max car. He
He
was like,
was
hey,
driving for a few blocks.
He loved the Mad Max car.
And then Dave
He's
Thomas
from
drove
Idaho.
it.
He had a great time.
Dave drove the
here's
car back.
The conversation, Paul. The conversation from this movie. It went like this. It goes, "Hey, like we're $15 million in like the fucking red or whatnot," and Arlo's like, "Hey, all that you have to do is just like get somebody to manage this that knows what they're doing." And he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." And they're like, "All right, man."
You're hired. You're
I
hired,
don't,
bro.
I don't see what the problem is. This is how 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
So today this would be like $100 million deal. This is how it's done, Jeremy. This is how it's done. And if the gabagool is not the way I want it, I will send
Like
it
we
back.
thought this shit was just gonna happen. Like these monorails were gonna grow out of the fucking ground. They haven't done it yet,
I
man.
feel
What's
like
Jeremy-
going on?
yeah.
Jeremy, if the salad dressing is not on the side, I will send it back.
Son of a bitch.
And you should, Paul. But I feel like the
Wow.
salad dressing was there. They just didn't use it, you know,
Well,
and then it
so-
got spoiled.
So let's note some checklists. Everything's kind of checked off. Arlo does have a job.
Yeah.
Casey decides to come home. Everything's going great. The moving company has destroyed all of their shit, but it's there, and the house is still in ruins. But we're done with the movie. Hey,
Yeah.
welcome to Idaho.
That's how. Yeah, that's a typical welcome. to
Sunrise,
Idaho,
sunset.
You know,
Yep. So before we get into
Gotta
our
rise up
final
from the ashes, baby.
our final review of Moving in 1988, as always, hit us up, Rabbit Troop Sucks podcast at gmail.com. Let us know if there's a movie you are interested in we should be reviewing. Do you have some trivia on it for us? Would you like to hear something weird or, I don't know, those isolated audio clips that we've been talking about? They could come your way. RabbitTroopSucks.com proper. We will have links. We have lots of things. And if you're listening to this on some sort of platform, we're on other platforms as well. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on just the podcast app on Apple. We're on whatever you could imagine. So we're also on Facebook, Instagram. Sorry. Noting any social media at this point in time.
Friendster,
Yeah, hit us up on Friendster.
we're on all of it. We have a live journal.
Let us know. Let us know. Have you invented a time machine? Are you telling us to do this? Let us know
Yeah.
early. But yeah, what did everyone think of Moving? 1988, Richard Pryor. We got Rodney
who's gonna go
Dangerfield.
first? I think. Yeah, Rami should go.
Rami, what do you? Okay, we
Do it, man.
pointed you out real quick.
Oh man, I like Richard Pryor.
Prior to this movie,
He was looking pretty rough in this, to me.
That's why they call them the rough tumbler.
Do you have any favorite Richard Pryor movies?
Honestly, I'm more of a fan of his stand-up than his movies, but I had high hopes. And honestly, I had not seen this before. And when you come and offer me the chance to watch a Richard Pryor movie that I haven't seen in this day and age, I'll say yes.
That's fair.
I had a good time with it. It wasn't bad. It was a little wackadoo. There were some parts of it where they were clearly just riffing, and that's okay, but it could have been better. I feel like the plot of this movie didn't really exist.
The plit?
It could have been 15 minutes from start to end. And a lot of what happened in the middle was just them goofing around. I liked the cameos. That was fun. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the watch.
What do you think, Jeremy? What do you think of Moving, 1988, Richard Pryor?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not a huge Richard Pryor fan, but I do find some of his content. I think that he was one of the first black comedians that started to tell more stories instead of one-liners. And I think a lot of comedians do that now. A lot of the big time comedians do that now. I respect his creative content. I liked him in Superman 3. See No Evil with fucking Gene Wilder.
Totally.
Hear No Evil. Bustin' Loose, Brewster's Millions.
Yeah.
I actually thought that this movie could be so much better than it could have been because of what we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. We made so many comedical jokes about moving that I feel like this movie could have been funnier than it was, especially with the fucking talent that it had. It was okay. It was entertaining. I actually enjoyed talking about it more than I thought I would. So I'll give it that, but that's where I am on that. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
I'm going to go to Lamar next because normally I'm like, why did you pick this movie? And Lamar didn't pick this. This is a kind of a group decision, and this movie kind of got brought up. And I was this was not as successful as other Richard Pryor movies, though. Yeah,
And I
Brewster's
think
Millions.
that it fits with this particular podcast.
Brewster's Millions. I've noted that should be done on this podcast a million times. I mean, eventually we'll clearly do this.
I think the reason this wasn't more successful is that weird font.
Yeah, the font for the credits was terrible.
Thanks for bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I normally am like, why did you pick this movie? Lamar didn't pick this movie, but Lamar kind of I know this would have been one of your choices. That's why when I was going through movies and this movie popped up suggested for you on Prime, Tubi, or whatever it might have been, ages ago when we put this on the list, I told Lamar directly, I was like, oh my God, should we do Moving? And Lamar's like, yes. And I was like, I have this on the list. So Lamar, spiritually, why did you pick this movie?
Yeah, didn't pick it. I championed it heavily because it's one of the movies that I talk about this a lot on the podcast, that when I was younger, I just had VHS tapes lying around of random movies. Sometimes my mom would record movies off of HBO and just have them around through the years, or someone in my family. And we just had a collection of VHS tapes. So I just watched random movies. And this is one that, I don't know, when I was just a young lad, I don't know why, just watched this movie over and over again. So before, we watched it 3 times, Paul. I've maybe seen it 6 times just as a kid.
Nice.
Just pop it in and watch it with some other stupid movies, and I always liked it. It's not the greatest Richard Pryor movie. I believe you mentioned Bustin' Loose. I think that's my favorite. Maybe The Toy.
I was going to say The Toy's on my list.
The Toy is probably The Toy and Bustin' Loose, although I do like his collaborations with Gene Wilder. I believe they did 3 or 4 movies together.
Wow, I didn't know it was that much.
They are a good pair. See No Evil, Hear No Evil is my favorite of them all. This movie just felt better back then. Today, not so much. Still funny, but the side characters make the movie. And Jeremy stole all my points for the movie. You hit the nail on the head with everything you just said. So I can't.
Oh yeah, dude. The reason I say that is because I am a huge fan of stand-up comedy, and I think that it's an art that is very difficult to master in an effective setting to deliver continuous jokes for an hour or more. And Richard Pryor did that continuously, and he did that by telling like stories and made those stories funny, just like what we did in the beginning of this particular podcast when we were talking about like our moving experiences. He was like one of the first comedians, especially black comedians, that started to do those like story type jokes. And those are very difficult to do, man. Like any professional comedian will tell you that. And I love comedy, like especially stand-up comedy. So
absolutely,
like that's why I really honestly didn't feel like doing this tonight, because I was like, fuck, dude, of the 2 days that I just went through. But I wanted to say that because I do respect stand-up comedy, and I respect
I'm
what he
glad
did.
you
for
brought that
stand-up
up.
comedy.
That's a good point to bring up with the way they tried to put this movie through. And I think there was a lot of missed opportunities with some of the comedy that you could have gotten out of Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
I mean, he was right there. And I want to bring up another point. The director, I don't think we mentioned him.
Back to School.
Yeah, director of Back to School.
Metter, Alan Metter, died in 2020 at the age of 77. So one of my guesses, you guys are saying Rodney Dangerfield was underutilized. Well, 86 Back to School came out. I bet this is just a favor. It was just a cameo.
Yeah.
Like, do you just want to be in this movie?
Yeah. Stand-up comics do that all the time, man.
Yeah,
especially in today's society. Like, they're all in movies, and they all have their like friends that like play cameo appearances.
Director also did Girls Just Want to Have Fun, 85, and Police Academy, Mission to Moscow.
Oh wow, the best police.
Yes.
This guy gets it.
The writer, Andy Breckman, Rat Race, 2021, and IQ, 94, and a writer for SNL.
Yeah, just like that.
I think I'm just going to jump into it. I overall enjoyed this movie. I loved rewatching it. As I said, Lamar and I have watched it over the years. I just liked throwing it on the kind of the background. It does have that kind of back to school vibe here and there. I do understand what you guys are saying about missed opportunities, because when that vibe is strong, it's really working in this film, and when it's not, it's like, okay, it's okay, and could be a little more condensed. But this movie is just fun for me. Like, this movie is kind of campy fun. Yeah, Richard Pryor and The Toy, I 100% want to do. I watched The Toy like 1,000 times when I was a kid. Again, for some reason, that was a movie just like Star Wars and Poltergeist. Like, that was one of the movies HBO like had in rotation out of the dozen that they had. Is this movie for everyone? No, but again, I just think it's fun. It's a guy in a comedic setting, in a falling down setting, just having enough of shit and getting done with it, and just taking some revenge out on people in a more comedic way. Mike, you hadn't seen it. What do you think of Moving, 1988?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I don't want to rehash what everyone's already said, but I haven't seen a lot of Richard Pryor movies. I do like him. I like his stand-up. My father was a big Richard Pryor fan, and Lamar, to your point, like, he was a big fan of the Richard Pryor Gene Wilder mashups. I think the one that I remember seeing the most was Silver Streak.
Nice.
I always enjoyed that. See No Evil, Hear No Evil, I always liked. I thought this movie was fine.
Stir Crazy? It's the third, right?
That sounds right. I mean, honestly, these movies, genuinely, it's probably been like 35 years since I've seen any of these.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, Harlem Nights, I remember.
Yeah.
I've seen. I don't know that it left a big impact, but I thought this movie was fun. I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. My biggest problem with it, honestly, was the kids. Like, these kids, like, they had no business being here. They didn't really affect the plot. Like,
I only think the daughter was effective.
I like the Morris Day cameo,
That was weird.
but like, honestly, if the kids had just been removed from it and the plot was like an adult couple dealing with this nonsense, but more nonsense, kind of like Money Pit, like, just focus on like the plot. Like, everything that the kids did was inconsequential. Like, the daughter staying with that old couple and then coming back, that didn't impact anything.
Yeah.
The
Also,
twin sons,
Mike
like,
hates kids.
I mean,
Sucks podcast
like,
gmail.com.
I don't hate kids, but I don't I don't enjoy them particularly.
Their shenanigans didn't add anything to this movie. For
No,
you.
I mean, and
They
like
added 30 minutes.
I like kids in movies sometimes, and I like kids movies sometimes, but like I don't know, it just
for
One
this,
day.
it was no purpose.
they
at
didn't
all.
they didn't add anything to this movie at all.
Mike
it
is
was
a
just
One day you guys are gonna meet my kids.
Mike
It's gonna
is
happen, Mike.
Mike
I'm
is
gonna
a
have to spend
Mike is a huge
a
fan.
lot of time with you, Mike.
Mike is a huge fan
Supervised
of
by me, of course.
Problem Child.
Yeah.
He had a poster on his wall of Problem Child 1 and 2.
I did,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I still do actually.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like there's not a lot of rewatchability here for me. But I didn't hate it. I had a good time with it.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Moving.
Yeah.
Moving on.
1988, Richard Pryor.
Moving on up.
And Randy Quaid.
You know, next week we're coming at you with a user request from Trisha. We've got Lucky Number 11 from 2006. And we're going to have some fun with it. Kind of a more serious film. I'm super down with it. But it's not going to be like Moving, 1988 Richard Pryor. No. In some ways it could be. And I think I've told Lamar this numerous times. With enough drugs, anything is possible.
That's true.
That's
And,
true.
and possible is in quotes.
Yeah.
And not quotes. You can do it any way you want.
Any final thoughts anyone has about Moving?
No.
Rami, thanks again for joining us.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a long time. You got to get back on.
Long time listener, third time guest
Hey,
host.
there you go.
That's what I like hearing. That's how you do it. As always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Rabbit Troop sucks.
I can't think of a funny line from this
Neither
movie
could
to
I.
say. Okay.
Fuck you, Mike.
Big beef?
That's not from. No, I'm not saying it. No, shut up, Jeremy. No,
Arby's.
How's it
That's
hanging?
where it's at.
I'm gonna stop at Arby's on the way home.
How's it hanging?
How's one hanging?
To the left.
Your dick.